consumption, the captain has concluded that we must transition to traditional nutrition and enlist the assistance of Mr. Neelix in locating alternative food sources. I have provided Mr. Neelix with a Starfleet Cadet's Guide to Shipboard Protocol, specifically highlighting regulations concerning discipline, resource management, and proper conduct. To date, I have observed no discernible alteration in his operational methodology or adherence to protocol. I will therefore continue to monitor his activities to ensure that his unconventional approach does not result in any culinary incidents.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. Lieutenant, Flight Control Officer. Has a nice ring to it. Who'd have thought you only need to get yourself stranded 70,000 light years from home to actually climb the Starfleet ladder? Starfleet brass and Maquis rebels all crammed onto one ship? Found a good pal in Harry Kim. His nose is still glued to the How to Be a Model Ensign manuals, but he's got potential. My off-duty hours? I'd spend them on the holodeck if the damn thing wasn't fried. I'm honestly dying, bored. So, to keep from going completely off the rails, I've decided to start building a holo version of Chez Sandrine, my old bar hangout by the port in Marseille. Turns out, when Starfleet isn't supplying endless resources, you have to, conserve. And that, unfortunately, includes the food replicators as well. The captain wants us to find traditional food sources, and Neelix, our Delta Quadrant guide, is apparently the point man for that gourmet expedition. Sounds exciting. Neelix already puts our security chief through the logical ringer daily. Can't wait to see what kind of traditional delicacies he drags back when we actually let him forage for real food. I'll be sticking close to the replicators, just in case.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. The crew's persistent capacity for adaptation under the sustained pressure of the Kazon Nistrum threat is exemplary. This unexpected resilience offers crucial protection against the ongoing threat of Cullen and Seska, a protection rendered necessary by my own deficiency. My oversight in identifying Seska's treachery was a significant operational failure. I tendered my resignation as Chief of Security to the captain. It was refused repeatedly, an illogical decision I attribute to her evident emotional bias. Supplemental. Sensors detected an unidentified transmission from an ionized hydrogen cloud. The captain intends to investigate, classifying the potential hazard as a welcome diversion. The human capacity for welcoming variables of unknown origin and potential threat remains to me an inexplicable phenomenon.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. Seska, huh? Wasn't that a neat little surprise? Undercover agent running off with an intergalactic thug with bad hair and anger management issues? All we need now is a dashing hero to sweep in and save the day. A dashing hero that saves the day. No, seriously. We've been playing cat and mouse with these Kazon for ages, and Cullen is nothing if not persistent. But we all know Seska's really the one pulling his strings. Give credit where it's due, she's good. Evil, but good. What's actually surprising is how well the crew's holding it together. No Starfleet versus Maquis brawl in the mess hall yet. Supplemental. Our sensors just picked up an unidentified transmission from an ionized hydrogen cloud. The captain wants to investigate this welcome diversion, and that's my cue. Voyager isn't going to steer itself into its next big adventure.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. Sustained Kazon aggression has brought the crew to its lowest stability index recorded since our initial displacement to the Delta Quadrant. Such a collective mental state represents a profound security liability, especially with the persistent threat from Cullen and Seska. The captain notes the necessity of a break, a proposition I find logically unsound. The hostile intentions of the Kazon Nistrum do not adhere to Voyager's duty roster. The sheer impracticality of human emotional response, though a predictable factor, remains a persistent challenge to maintaining optimal efficiency. Immediate intervention by the captain is required to restore unity and function.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. It's been red alert 24/7. The Kazon attacks haven't let up, not for weeks now. Everyone's walking on eggshells. That no mess hall brawl record, yeah, that's history. Today, 2 ensigns nearly started a full-blown riot, all because one of them was chewing too loud. At least it's not because of the Talaxian cuisine. Morale is scraping rock bottom, worse than when we first realized we were stuck in the middle of nowhere. I bet Kulla and Seska are having a blast laughing at our misery. And misery is putting it mildly. If the scuttlebutt's accurate, the crew's patience is wearing thin. Me? I'm fed up too, but I'm sticking with the captain. She's not bad at all, although her coffee intake has become exemplary.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. The Kazon Nistrim have sustained their harassment over the past months, though Kulla and Seska have remained absent from direct engagement. The captain expressed a diminishing expectation for a peaceful resolution to this conflict. It is consistently fascinating to observe the human capacity to adhere to hope, even when all logical indicators render such an outcome unattainable. While I recognize her imperative to explore all avenues for crew welfare, I find the process inefficient. Logic dictates the Kazon threat must be neutralized. An aggressive solution presents inherent risks due to the Kazon's numerical advantage. Nevertheless, Voyager has no feasible alternatives.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. Business as usual. The Kazon are shooting at us, we're shooting back, though Seska and Kulla have been conspicuously inconspicuous. Strategy? Psychology? Or did they finally take that much-needed honeymoon? Who knows? The captain's finally admitted she's losing faith in a peaceful resolution to our little Kazon conflict. I'm not exactly itching for a full-scale war myself. I'd prefer the Kazon just collectively beam themselves into a black hole. But let's be realistic here. Even with all our fancy Starfleet tech and the best damn pilot in the galaxy at the helm, the Kazon are basically a Hydra. Chop one head off, 2 more pop up. And Kulla and Seska? They don't seem to care how many minions they burn through until they finally get what they...
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. Voyager has departed Kazon space, and Kulla's pursuit has ended, resulting in a statistically significant reduction in security risk. To commemorate this event, the captain has scheduled a celebratory gathering in the mess hall. My observation that such a gathering is illogical and inefficient, considering the enduring threats of the Delta Quadrant, was met with the suggestion to unclench. I found this directive illogical. Supplemental 1. During a classified mission, Voyager acquired schematics for a 29th century mobile emitter, a device designed to remotely power holographic instances. The doctor promptly articulated an irritating enthusiasm for anticipated field operations. However, research is postponed until engineering has performed a mandatory safety check. Supplemental 2. We have lost contact with our reconnaissance probe, strongly indicating an encounter near Borg territory. The captain and commander have articulated their concern regarding the region's characteristics. Borg space offers no resources for sustainable operation, and the Borg are the greatest known existential threat to the Federation. Surrender is not a viable strategic option. The Borg's objective is exclusively assimilation.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. All right, log's gotta be quick. There's a party in the mess hall, and I am not missing out on that cake. Kazon space is behind us. Seska and Kulla, finished. They were quite the villainous duo, I'll give them that. Kulla, the chaotic brute, Voyager's sworn enemy, constantly trying to conquer our ship with his army of mindless minions. And Seska, the manipulative femme fatale, the one truly in charge, pulling the strings in the background like a spider. Hang on, I've got it. After the party, I have to jot down some notes for my holonovel. Supplemental 1. Ever heard of a mobile emitter? Probably not. We acquired schematics for this 29th century tech that lets you power a hologram anywhere. Finally, we can drag our beloved EMH out of sickbay and onto away missions. Naturally, the party poopers down in engineering are saying the thing won't be cleared for research until their mandatory security check is done. Where's the leap of faith in completely unknown technology from the future, guys? Supplemental 2. We have lost contact with the probe we sent ahead into Borg space. Not exactly what you want to hear with your first cup of coffee. The captain and commander are focused on scarce food sources in Borg space and careful preparation, but we're talking about the Borg Collective here, the greatest known existential threat to the Federation. Food sources? I'm worried about assimilation.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. Kess's psionic abilities resulted in a spatial jump which propelled Voyager over 10,000 light years, a quantifiable strategic improvement in our primary objective. However, Kess remains unconscious, with an uncertain recovery timeline. Her recovery is logically of significant importance to me. As her mentor, I find myself evaluating all variables: her inherent potential, my instructional methodology, and the magnitude of her exertion. While logic indicates the event was unavoidable, the questions persist. Could more have been done? Could I have better prepared her? It is vexing. Supplemental. Per the captain's order, we are commencing the enhancement of stellar cartography, utilizing Borg technology. Our new ex-Borg personnel guarantee significant benefits for the journey home and for Starfleet data acquisition. Despite immense security concerns, protocol violations, and evident crew unease, the captain remains resolute.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. How do I even begin to describe that? Kess almost went supernova, hurling us 10,000 light years clean out of Borg space? Yeah, that's the most coherent summary I can manage. Trouble is, Kess is out cold in sickbay. The doctor's quiet, which means it's serious. Too bad our replicators can't whip up a bouquet of flowers. Though knowing Kess, she'd probably prefer a potted tomato plant over a bunch of dying flora. Honestly, Tuvok probably worked some kind of Vulcan miracle. Without him, Kess would have just been a ticking time bomb for hours. On the brighter side, this whole Borg escapade is giving me plenty of material. A new chapter for my holo novel is practically writing itself. Invaders from the Ninth Dimension. Just need to nail down the title. The Space Saga of Captain Galaxy. Nah, feels a bit clunky. Maybe Kess will have a better suggestion. Supplemental. Apparently the captain wants to enhance stellar cartography with Borg technology. Whether Voyager gets assimilated or not, the blinking green lights will tell us soon enough.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. Utilizing the Hirogen Relay Network enabled the successful reception of Starfleet communications and correspondence from friends and family. My own correspondence confirms my family is well, and my first son, Sek, has successfully passed Pon Farr and fathered a healthy female, to many, named after my mother. I note this development. However, the core Starfleet transmissions remain locked by a Level 10 encryption matrix. Voyager systems are insufficient. Decryption is projected to require multiple years. The only viable option for timely data acquisition is to seek external specialized decryption assistance. I have been assigned to personally oversee this sensitive operation at a local trading hub to identify a capable individual without compromising Starfleet data, the vessel, or the crew. The risk of betrayal or data theft is assessed as high.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. Well, messing with the Hirogen really paid off. Through their relay network, we actually made contact with Starfleet and our families and friends. Well, at least they were able to send us messages anyway. Though, I didn't expect any. I mean, who'd write me? Maybe the penal colony letting me know that I'd violated my probation? The more everyone else got excited about these letters from home, the more I just wanted no part of it. Maybe because what I have here on Voyager is so much better than anything I ever had back there. But of course, I did get a message from my father, Admiral Owen Paris. All that was missing was the official trumpet fanfare before some nervous technician read out His Excellency's condemnation. Here's the twist, though. It's the only encrypted message in the entire batch. Someone actually suggested I just pretend the message says, "I love you, I'm proud of you." Not a chance. Not from the man who lectured me as a kid that crying was a weakness. My clearest childhood memories are of me locked in my room, crying. It was my sanctuary, though. Quiet. No one bothered me. And now this encryption is offering me the same measure of peace. The only problem is that we're now actively looking for outside help to bypass it, a code breaker. We'll be trying our luck at the local trading hub. My cue. Gotta go.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. My analysis confirms high Borg activity in this sector, which has placed Voyager under constant yellow alert. Captain Janeway has, with her characteristic optimism regarding calculated risks, devised another shortcut for Voyager's journey, one in which the Borg are intended to play a significant role. The objective is the acquisition of a Borg transwarp coil, a powerful Borg propulsion technology. My comprehensive assessment of all quantifiable security risks was overlooked. The captain terms this a desperate gamble. I categorize it as a significant security protocol violation with a 98.3% probability of assimilation or destruction. My comprehensive contingency brief has already been compiled.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. Well, this is slightly awkward. With all the Arturus chaos, that message from my old man completely slipped my mind, or maybe, just maybe, I was subconsciously hoping the Delta Quadrant would swallow it whole. No such luck. It was short. He was never one for unnecessary words when a sharp, concise point would do, unless, of course, it was his annual Prime Directive lecture. Then he could go on for hours. But I'm beating around the bush. He said he misses me and that he's proud of me. Right here, I'd usually have a killer sarcastic comeback, but honestly, I'm speechless. What do you even say? On a more celebratory note, tomorrow is the grand premiere of my holonovel, The Adventures of Captain Proton, Spaceman First Class, Protector of Earth, Scourge of Intergalactic Evil, locking horns with Dr. Chaotica and Queen Arachne. It is my tribute to those classic 1930s Flash Gordon and sci-fi B-movie serials, a treasure of the past. I'm going to try and recruit the captain for a cameo. Wish me luck. Supplemental. Apparently, the slipstream dumped us into a sector teeming with Borg. Red alert became green alert. The captain wants to make another bold and possibly reckless maneuver, acquire a Borg transwarp coil, their propulsion tech to travel vast distances. I'm not sure I like this one.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. Voyager utilized a Borg transwarp coil to execute an approximated 20,000 light-year jump, effectively reducing the duration of our journey home by 15 years. While my original risk projections were substantial and remain logically sound, the successful outcome of this controversial maneuver requires an adjustment to my earlier assessment. I was advised to have a little more faith in unconventional endeavors. I presume faith is now a quantifiable variable I must incorporate into all future risk assessments. Fascinating. Supplemental. Voyager has intercepted a Federation distress signal. Despite confirmation of its legitimacy, we are alert considering our history of deceptive encounters in the Delta Quadrant. The only current plausible explanation, absent further data, is that another ship has been displaced into the Delta Quadrant by the caretaker entity. To formulate a suitable response, Captain Janeway has called a senior staff meeting on the bridge.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. A jump of 20,000 light years, or 15 normal years for those who want to skip the math. And we owe it all to the captain's utterly audacious trans-warp coil plan. I will never question that woman again. Or at least for the rest of the week. Captain Proton's adventures are practically a phenomenon with the crew. The holodeck is book solid 24/7, Bride of Chaotica, Captain Proton versus the cosmic creature, and invaders from the ninth dimension are running on a continuous loop. Now that my holonovel's wrapped up, I actually have time for other momentous tasks, like writing a letter to my father. Who knows, maybe we can give our relationship a second shot if we'll ever make it home. Nah, once we get home. Supplemental. Voyager has just picked up a Federation distress signal. A Starfleet search and rescue ship? More likely the Caretaker. Ah, the memories. Maybe the old energy blob dragged someone else over from the Alpha Quadrant. I hope they didn't have to contend with Kulla, or the Borg, or Idrin, or Arturus. Looking back, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. The captain and 7 of 9 have briefed me regarding an unauthorized communications event. Apparently, other Borg established mental contact during 7 of 9's regeneration cycle, claiming a unique mutation has led to a state of awakening. They have requested Voyager's assistance. My initial review of all Federation data concerning the Borg Collective reveals no historical or documented precedent for such a spontaneous mutation, yet the Delta Quadrant seems to specialize in establishing precedents. The tactical risks are evident. Voyager previously provoked the Borg Queen. The possibility that this is an insidious strategic deception, a calculated effort at retribution, must be considered. We should anticipate a high probability of malicious intent. Additionally, I will initiate a full diagnostic of 7 of 9's regeneration alcove to ascertain whether...
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. The day's highlights? Talaxian spice stew for lunch, partly cloudy skies, and a sack of rice fell over in Cargo Bay 1. Oh, and apparently awakened Borg have contacted 7 of 9. I don't think we'll ever have a quiet week out here. The Borg story? A unique mutation led to their awakening, and now they desperately need Voyager's help. Sounds as plausible as a Kazon pacifist. The captain is convinced that this could be a legitimate cry for assistance. And 7? Well, she and Janeway are perfectly aligned on this. Call it mutual conviction or female intuition or whatever. On topic, the Borg Queen is not exactly our biggest fan. What if this is just Her Majesty's cunning plan for payback? Dispatch a few awakened Borg as a Trojan horse and then assimilation quick and clean? No thank you. I am definitely not signing up for membership in the Bad Mood Collective.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tuvok. A sensor sweep of this sector has detected a possible wormhole. Further analysis pinpointed its location within a nearby nebula. The crew exhibits heightened anticipation and hope, despite the current absence of empirical data confirming its classification as a wormhole or its terminal coordinates. While in earlier years I would have categorized such a reaction as illogical, I now understand the presence of hope, even if not strictly logical, is a natural emotional response. During the senior staff briefing, the captain posed the question, what if this truly is a wormhole leading to the Alpha Quadrant? My initial assessment categorizes what-if scenarios as inefficient, hypothetical exercises. However, Captain encouraged further contemplation. Professionally, my primary directive would be the submission of a complete, coherent data protocol to Starfleet Command, alongside aiding Captain Janeway in advocating for the former Maquis and Borg crew members during their Federation review. Personally, the reestablishment of my roles as husband and father after 7 years of separation would necessitate a rational and patient approach to reintegration. Should our journey now conclude, I would not categorize it as time ill spent. My personal development, both intellectual and experiential, has been considerable, and my analysis indicates I appear to have lost my train of thought. A momentary lapse. I must address this anomaly. The captain has ordered a course to investigate the nebula.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tom Paris. A sensor sweep just detected a possible wormhole in a nearby nebula. Yeah, you heard that right. A potential ticket home. The crew is practically bubbling over it, though our esteemed chief of security, the old stickler, is of course muttering about absence of empirical data and no terminal coordinates, but even he's got a flicker of hope. What if this truly is a wormhole leading to the Alpha Quadrant? After 7 years on this roller coaster, I started making peace with the idea that this whole journey would take a few more decades. And if all this really ended tomorrow, first item on the agenda, my parole review. I would need to remind the captain to put in a good word for me. She promised. But seriously, I think it would be the inevitable showdown with my old man. I'd even be happy to see him. I actually have hope. Real hope that we can finally turn things around. I mean, how many Starfleet admirals can boast a son who's a tragically lost ace pilot hero and future best-selling holo novel author? After that, I'm thinking of officially rejoining Starfleet. My vision? Starfleet Star Pilot, testing the newest models, breaking the Warp 10 barrier. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? It's not like I'd turn into a lizard or something. Then, a proper victory tour. Tell all the cadets about our adventure in the Delta Quadrant. Sign some autographs and a mandatory stop at Chez Sandrine, maybe with the Delaney sisters. It's been quite a ride to get to this point. And honestly, without a shred of irony, it's been the best thing ever happened. I sometimes wonder about the version of Tom Paris that would exist if I'd said no to Captain Janeway back then. Probably just a loser and a drunk. Probably. Anyway, we're on course to investigate the nebula. Wish us luck.